Hello, my beautiful crafty friends. Today I'm going to be making just some really simple Mother's Day cards. I wanted to use up some of my bits and pieces that I have sitting around, which I have a lot of. I've got tons off to the side here, but I have a lot of different embossed panels and die cuts and fussy cuts and sentiments and all kinds of things that I've cut out from previous cards, and I just wanted to start using some of them up. So we're just going to make a few simple Mother's Day cards. Okay, I'm just going to set all this aside. So the first one that I'm going to do uses some patterned vellum that I have. I have quite a bit of it actually, in all kinds of different patterns and such, so I thought I'd use some of that. So I'm going to take a card base and put these hearts onto the card base. So I've cut it just slightly smaller than the card base. So I'm going to use my wide 4-inch scrapbook.com tape and do the entire panel covered with adhesive, and that way you won't be able to see where the lines of the adhesive are. Okay, so I'm going to put that on my panel. Make sure I've got this opening the right way. Ooh, I didn't, so it's a good thing I checked. Okay, just leaving a little white border all the way around. Fabulous. Now I've got some nesting dies here that I've already got adhesive on the back of. I have a video of how to do things to help batch make cards. So it's one of the things that I tend to do is whenever I cut things out, I cut it out in multiples. And so that's why I always have extra everything kind of on hand. So when I don't feel like bringing out my die cut machine, I can just go into my stash and grab some random pieces. So I'm going to use this oval die cut on this piece of vellum. And then I'm going to cut out around it. Okay, and then I'm going to put some dimensional adhesive on the outside edge of this. I'm just going to clean up some of this cutting here. Okay, so I'm just going to put some foam tape in little squares all the way around my frame, and then put that onto my card just so you can't see it through the vellum. I might have to use a thinner foam tape. Yes, this will work better. I might even be able to maneuver this one around. Yes, I can. Okay, perfect. I'm going to put this in the center of my card and then just add a sentiment. And I think that's all I'm going to do with this one. I want to keep them quite simple because I'd like to make a whole bunch of them today to sell at market this weekend. So I'm going to make them quite simple. Okay, just so there's a little bit of dimension, and then I'm just going to add a simple sentiment onto that. Yeah, let's go with sending a little extra love. And I might put a couple, let's find some flowers that I can put on that. So I'm just going to adhere this down. I'm just going to put the glue on the bottom portion here. Okay, just adhere that on top. Let's just add a little bit of flowers. Okay, these are just a bunch of, some are fussy cuts and some are part of a collection, but they're all kind of just kind of combined everything together, some borders, all kinds of things, so I can just grab from, I have many of these bags. So just found a couple little roses, and I'm just going to put one up there and tuck one underneath here. I think I like that. Okay, so just add again some wet adhesive just on this part. That's quite a bit. I don't need that much, so I'll take some and put it up here. And then this one will tuck underneath here. Okay, that's it. Card number 1. Okay, for my second card, I want to use some of these fussy cut white flowers. They were just part of a piece of pattern paper that I just really like the flowers on, so I cut a whole bunch of them out. And I've got this scrap of pattern paper, and it's got these blue little berries, so I wanted to use some coordinating blue cardstock underneath it. So first I'm going to cut an oval or a circle out of this piece of paper. Do I want oval or do I want circle? Well, I've got my circle die cuts here, so I'll go circle. So let's see what size. No, I like this one. Okay, so I'm just going to use this die cut and die cut a circle out of this. My die cut machine plugs in and it's across the room, so I'll be right back once I've die cut it. Okay, so now that that is die cut, I'm going to adhere this onto my blue panel, leaving a little bit of a border. Let's just make sure that it's going to fit onto my card base properly. And it will, perfect. Okay, so I'm going to adhere this down. Okay, and now I'm going to take the next size die cut, and because I want a border of the blue showing, so I'm going to die cut a circle out of the blue now. I'm going to use a tiny piece of mint tape just to keep it in the right place. It's like a low tack tape. Okay, so I'll die cut that out. Okay, fabulous. And I can use these 2 circles in a different card. Put those into my stash. I'm just gonna trim off this little bit here. Now I'm gonna use some of these fussy cut flowers that I have from that pattern paper, and I'm just going to kind of put them all around the circle. But first, I'm just going to use a little skewer to kind of curl some of these edges a little bit, just to give it a little bit of dimension so it's not just flat. And I'll curl them different ways, just so it gives it a little bit of dimension. I'll do that to a few pieces that I'm going to use. Actually, I might cut these petals apart a little bit, and then I can curl the petals separately. And this one I'll curl back a little bit. So just giving it a little bit of dimension. It's subtle, but it'll make it pop up a little bit. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same with some of these leaves. So just taking the skewer and just kind of rolling it a little bit. Not like extreme, but just so there's a little bit of curve. So I'll do that to a few of them, and then I want this circle to be open. So I'm going to adhere them to this first, and that way I can cut off what's left inside the circle. Okay, so let's do that. So just adhere it in the parts that are going to hit the paper. So it's just a different way to add some dimension as opposed to just using foam tape. Let's see, do I want a bigger one or a cluster? I might use a big cluster down here actually. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to cut apart some of these petals just so I can curve them separately. I'm not cutting all the way into the center, just a little bit. And not every one of them. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to add a little bit of wet adhesive to the back of this. This one I just want poking into the circle. And you can see that there's a little bit of dimension to the leaves and the flowers there. So I'll just kind of poke down the center bit of it. All right, and then I'm just going to cut off this bit that's in the circle. I'm just going to take my fussy cut scissors and then just kind of from the other side cut this bit off. And while we're making Mother's Day cards, I wanted to let you know that there is a sale in my Etsy shop right now, a Mother's Day sale. Everything in the shop is 30% off, so you can go check that out. Now we're going to put this onto a card base, add our sentiment, bada bing bada boom, pretty card, and it's super, super simple. It's all about simplicity today, folks. Quick and easy. Pretty cards do not have to be overly complicated. Okay. Oh, this one's going up. Well, that's all right. We can go where I can have it going up. Okay. There we go. I'm just going to trim these little bits that are poking out over the edge. Like that. And for a sentiment, I think I'm going to use a... Thank you. Alright, I'm just going to use this one that says, Mom, thanks for making me. I mean, I'm pretty awesome. Cute. Okay, so there's that one. Alright, so that's card 2. And then for my third card, like I said, I'm using up scraps. So I have this like tiny piece of pattern paper. I keep everything. It's ridiculous. But I really like it. So my plan is to put it onto, this is like a very thick acetate, but it's got like a little frame. So I was going to attach this onto the back of the acetate and then put some greenery in behind that and then put it onto a coordinating piece of cardstock. Okay, so I'm going to adhere this. I think we'll go with just ATG. I think that should be fine. You won't be able to see it, I hope. Just kind of cover the whole thing and then hopefully you won't be able to tell where all the lines are. We'll find out in a second. So putting that right inside the frame here, like that. And then I'm going to put a whole bunch of greenery coming out from behind that. So let's cut some of this apart. Okay, we'll have that sticking out this way, like that. Let's turn this over. Have that one coming out there, I think. I could even just tack them on like this, and then, because I'm going to be adhering this whole thing down onto the panel, so that might be even easier. Yeah, I think I like that. Just cut off this bit. Okay, so I'm going to have that coming out the bottom like that. So I'm just going to kind of tack that on there for now. Okay, I think I'll have this one coming out there. Okay, and now I'm going to adhere this whole panel onto this piece of cardstock. Just going to smooth out this wet adhesive. That was far too much. Okay, let's put some of this on the back of this, and we'll adhere this onto our card panel first, because I have way too much glue. I don't know why I went so crazy. Crazy! I think it's just I'm taking some back meds because my back's really sore today. I think I overdid it yesterday, so maybe that's why I'm a little loopy. Okay, let's put this onto a card base. Okay, so that's in the center of the card base, and then this is going to adhere like this, right in the center. Is everything crooked? Everything kind of looks a little crooked. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Can I? Nope. Okay. Okay, so it's down. That base part is going to be a little crooked, so we could make that intentional, and we'll just make it even more crooked and make it look like it's intentional. Okay, so I'm just going to put something heavy on this while it dries, and then we can add a sentiment to it. Alright, so I just put a sentiment that says, "Mama, sorry for all the grays I caused." These are, I wish I'd kept the packaging. They came in a set. They look like this when they're all together, but this is a belated birthday one. I believe I got them from scrapbook.com, but I'm not entirely positive. I just got a whole bunch of these years ago in many different kind of birthdays and anniversaries, etc., etc., etc. This is the last of the mum ones that I have. So I'm just going to open this up and just trim any of the leaves that are kind of sticking over the edge. Okay, and that is card number 3. So just a really quick video today. I'm probably going to make a few more off screen, but I just wanted to have a really quick video just showing a few simple ways to make some cards, just using up stuff that's in your stash. Go through your pattern paper and anything that has pretty flowers and stuff, just fussy cut out the flowers, and you've got yourself some ready-made embellishments. I like all 3 of these. I think they're all really pretty. So I hope you will make your mama a card, and I hope you will have a beautiful day. Thank you to everyone who is supporting my channel and keeping me going, and I really appreciate you. And I hope you'll go check out my sale in my Etsy shop. All right, sending you lots of love. Big hugs. Bye.